Hi there! Welcome to the third part of the sciBASICS and CerTrust meeting that we're uploading now. So this discussion is again with the three CerTrust experts that you are slowly getting to know. There is Marton, Ildiko and Zsuzsanna. And again, we want to say that we really love talking to them and that we hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did enjoy making it and editing it. And I'm trying to bring in new things every day. Do make sure to tell us in the comments down below what you liked, what you don't like, what you think we could do better, and what questions you might have for CerTrust, because we can ask those questions for you. If you like this video or even this intro, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you get to see more of us. We're trying to upload regularly, and yeah, see you then.
Now, for what it's worth, sciBASICS, so me and my partners, we are currently developing a tool in order to assess exactly the type of product it would be and the costs which would be associated. So it's a kind of a decision tree that I'm developing, but automated, so that we have a tool to assess this in no time, because it takes quite some time. If you want to analyze, depending on the composition of the product, the claims, etc. So I'm developing actually this to have this information quite quickly and to be able to tell people, if you go with this route, so the European fertilizer regulation route, you can anticipate these costs and these trials or studies that you need to make, because it's key to know that. Otherwise the manufacturers can't decide, on what to do. So there's always this hesitation and not knowing actually. So we are working on that actually on our side to make sure that this can be done in a quicker time.
Yes, if the manufacturer choose module B1 because in that product the manufacturer can do this, the product must be tested in our laboratory according to FPR. But if a manufacturer has got a more product, the manufacturer can make another decision to evaluate that products according to module D1. But there is the difference between not only regarding the cost between module B and module D1. Module B, a certification according to module B is valid for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And this cost is for 5 years. Cost of the evaluation and cost of the laboratory test. But in the case of one product, it can be a good solution to choose module B if the CMC category can be evaluated according to module. But if a manufacturer has got more product, the evaluation according to module D1 much more expensive, but can be worse to apply module D1 because the cost for more than one product, for example 4 or 5 products, can be cheaper applying module D1 than module B. It's a decision of the manufacturer, and the certification according to module D1 is valid for 3 years. And in every year, the notified body must perform a surveillance audit, and the surveillance audit has got also cost.
So if I understand you correctly, because that's a very important information for any manufacturer, from what I understand, so there is some flexibility depending on, of course, it always depends on the product, and you would be, if I understand correctly, you would be in a position and willing to tell or to advise, listen, this is, you have a possibility to choose between B1 and D1. And in your case, maybe it's more interesting if you have more products, more than one. You could choose one or the other, and you are willing to provide that advice, if I understand correctly, right?
Yes, if you and your client apply at CerTrust, we can send you a proposal from module B and module D1. plan, and you can make a decision which module do you choose.
That's nice. That sounds to me a little bit like, in pesticides arena, you have what they call a pre-submission meeting. So you would always meet the authorities first. You would discuss what your plan is, what the intention is, and then there is a kind of a discussion around the data requirements, the cost, the timelines, and that kind of stuff. So that makes me think a little bit about that approach, which is actually very good. And you can plan and anticipate what you're doing. So that's very good. Anything to be added from Ildiko or Marton on that point?
Yes,
Actually,
perhaps one small information. Don't forget that, however, if you could choose module D1 for biostimulant, it doesn't mean that, and for example, if you have more product, the manufacturer doesn't have to forget the trials, because if you choose module D1, trials has to be established by all the products. So this cost won't disappear by choosing module D1, because trials are always mandatory for each product.
That is an interesting point, Ildiko, because this concept of if you have 4 or 5 products, it would be you can actually handle 4 or 5 products at once. That makes me think about or reminds me a little bit the biopesticides regulation, where you have the concept of a group of products as opposed to one product. And once you have registered a group of products, you can add on additional products which fit under this group,
like a product family or something like that.
Well, a product family, thank you, that was the term they used, indeed, a product family. But here it's a bit like this, but not exactly like this, because you say the trials have to be performed for every product still. So it's not a product family, it's rather a group of product which fits under the same umbrella.
But you can have one trial set only those cases when the manufacturer justified that the 2 products could treat or could accept as identical. For example, you have product E and product B, and B is a diluted product version of E. Or you choose a new preservative, which is, less than 0.5% of the product. So that new product could be the same as product E. And that's the reason when they doesn't have to repeat the trial. But if they add any new technical ingredients or any kind of technical additives which could affect the biostimulant effect, they have to repeat the reports as well. It's quite a soft area, but it is always a possibility for the manufacturer to justify that the 2 product is identical, but there are so many cases
identical or equivalent, actually. You could use different.
When we are knowing that they cannot be the same. So
no, I see, Ildiko, and thank you very much. You anticipated actually again a question of mine, which would have been, so can you discuss actually for some product it's really for in terms of to reduce the trial still at a strict necessary minimum. If for instance you can really demonstrate that one product and another product are really very similar in terms of composition, only maybe one is a more diluted form or the other one has just a different name, different commercial name, or I don't know what. So that's perfectly understood. Okay, I would like to move on to the next question, unless you have something else to be added?
Yes. Regarding names, you mentioned the bunch of names. It's always essential if a manufacturer would like to put products on the market. Sometimes there are so many synonyms of the product, and it's quite essential to give us a list containing all the synonym names and to attach to the technical documentation. But handle it carefully, because in the declaration of conformity, which is the final document of the product, which has to be given by the manufacturer to the distributor, as well as the market surveillance, if they ask, naturally, only those name has to be on the declaration of conformity, which was on the label. So each product has to have its own declaration of conformity, but we have to have a list, which contains all the names.
Good point. Thank you, Ildiko.
Yeah, you're welcome.